Welcome to the new episode of All That Jazz. I'm your host Matias, and I have with me Marie Autiello. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me here. Thank you.
Appreciate you being on. Today, first time with my phone, and some will probably say it has a better camera, but I'm so, you know what it is? It's the attachment of how things used to be. That I think that's what it is. Yeah. So, how's your day going, Marie?
I feel good. I just got done going for a bike ride. So it's always uplifting to be in nature and getting my blood pumping. It feels good to exercise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's important to take care of the physical level, right?
Exactly. I've been much more conscious this year on what I eat as well. It's kind of hard in America because in the United States because they just put a lot of chemicals in there, and it's like if you aren't awake, like having a spiritual awakening and seeing the truth outside the
Mm,
matrix, you have no clue, no idea. It's just like automatic, just eat. So it's like when I'm now that I'm like hyper aware, it's like, whoa, there's a lot of food I have to change, but it's a process because my body's been addicted to certain chemicals for years.
right. So what is the Matrix? You mentioned the Matrix. Um, that's uh that's a term from the movie The Matrix that we're living in a alternate reality that's not true, right? And yeah, and there's a lot of falsehood around, like in mainstream media and all that. So what is the Matrix to you?
The Matrix is definitely a simulation. Okay. So this is planet Earth, and then there's this projected hologram all around us.
Mm-hmm.
And who projects it is the reptilians. Is a lot to do with this projection, and they wanted to keep us in a confined slave planet with limitations, and that's a complete lie. And it's not just the reptilians, because there are government officials on
Mm-hmm.
Earth as well, but it's definitely, even the government officials, is like a lot of them don't even know better. It's like we're all thrown into this with blinders, because when we chose to come to planet Earth, we knew it was going to be challenged. We know what we're going to be a part of, and even the people, the cabal and the reptilians, they are actually part of our evolution. And there's I constantly talk about bringing in world peace, and how we
Mm.
do that is by going back to our authentic self, with which is love, joy, peace, unity. And so when you hear all this separation, discrimination, different languages, and even the countries and the states and the political parties, it's all a lie. That's part of the matrix. They wanted you to believe that we're all separated, so we're against each other.
Mm.
But the
Well,
truth is we're not. We're that's what So the truth, like, I'm a light worker because I shine
light
the
worker.
light. Yeah, I shine the
Mm.
light on the dark. I'm out here helping people to realize that they are so much more than what they think.
Mm.
And it is a huge process. Like, I've been on my spiritual journey for 36 years. And on this process of that, for basically, I just keep learning and applying. And it's just like a big, we're like an onion where we have so many layers, and we need to just keep stripping down, stripping down, stripping down until we get to the core.
Well, okay, so what is so and the Matrix and the reptilians. So what is the I've heard this before. Is that like the David Icke kind of when he talks about reptilians? Because
Yeah, he was the first person that brought light to me on this. Like, I love a lot about him in theories, but there's certain things that I don't believe. Like, he claims that he's Jesus, and I don't believe that because,
uh
yeah,
I didn't know he
but
claims that.
yeah,
I don't.
yeah,
I'm
he
not even
was
sure
like,
about
that was
the.
like before actually. And I think he hasn't really been portraying himself that way, because I think he's like shifted, and it was more important to get out the truth about the reptilians. So the reptilians are an ancient alien. Okay. So extraterrestrial. I would just say alien. They don't mind. There's a lot of, okay. And they didn't start out this way. They did not start out dark. They're all part of God. They're all part of this evolution. It's like they're doing their role. Right now, they've been lost, and they need to be called back in. So that's what I do. I call them back in.
Who
I
was
let them know.
lost? Sorry, I'm
Okay,
getting
the
lost.
eight.
Who was
Okay,
lost?
I know there's a lot of people lost. Okay, I was lost. All right, but I was talking about the aliens, the reptilian
Okay,
aliens.
they're
Okay,
lost.
they're lost in their like heart and soul. They forgot that they're too part of God, and but they're caught up in the whole separation thing too, and they're just thinking that they're supposed to be against God and against people. They just forgot. So what I like to do is pray for them and call them in. Like, I
Mm.
do energy work, like planetary energy work, to heal them. Like, they need to remember who they are too. We're all one. So, and knowing that, that's how you bring in world peace, because world peace is about pure love and forgiveness and acceptance and remembering who we are. If we all remember who we are and all the ultimate truths, then there wouldn't be war and crime and
Hmm.
hatred and separation. That it's not, and we're going into a place where we're going to be restored. This is such a beautiful time on the planet, and the first time ever in history that we are having a mass ascension where we're all collectively moving up from the 3D to the 5D.
What
And
is the 5D? So it's an ascension of consciousness where so we're in a sense moving up the level of consciousness. Is that what it
yeah,
is?
yeah, because when we came to Earth, we chose to have a veil over us. Okay. So we forgot. If we remembered, then we just die and go back, because home is so beautiful. And so, to me, it's the same thing, like world peace, the the fifth dimension are the same. It's the restored
Mm.
earth and restored humanity.
Mm, okay. And do you think more people are getting to that place where they're more at peace? Because it does seem like there's a lot more maybe on the surface, there's a lot more struggle out there.
I do believe that we're waking up in groves. Millions of people are waking up daily, and the whole pen pandemic backfired, okay? Because it was supposed to, well, it did work portion of it, like part of it was the purpose was killing off the population.
Mm,
But the other
yeah.
part, and just to cause more chaos and darkness and separation and fear and all that dark bullshit lies, okay? But how it backfired was people started waking up. They're like, this ain't right. This is not right. And the science has been revealed of the truths, and
Mm-hmm.
people are finding out. And also, another thing that happened that caused this impactful global wake up was because people were at home and they had to be quiet. They had to sit with themselves. They weren't
Yeah.
caught up in like, gotta hurry up, get to work, go get the kids at the children's center, and now they're sitting at home and they're sitting with us and they have time. They have idle time. So they're becoming connected with themselves. And that's what I consciously been doing for the 36-year journey. Consciously, the best tool, if I this is what I love to teach my clients,
Mm-hmm.
is their number one tool to help yourself in the spiritual journey, spiritual awakening, is to meditate. Number one tool
Mm,
by far. You could see the truth, the God's within. You don't need to look at a church or a temple or an outside thing. God is within, God is in nature. So, and
mm-hmm.
you could, and then if you go, like, the more you practice it and easier it gets, you can travel. You could astral travel. You could, it's a quiet place within where you could connect with your higher self, and also God and spirit, like guardians and angels and celestial beings. Is like, that's how you connect with them, is going within.
Mm. So what kind of meditation do you recommend when you do
Okay,
meditation?
so there, okay, what I believe is where everyone's goal should be on the meditation journey is to get yourself to a point where you could just sit and still and quiet. Like, you don't need anything. Maybe instrumental music, like a sound bowl healing, whatever resonates. It could be an ocean background. It could be, just tribal music, but ultimately you want to just be quiet. So you
Mm,
could go within and hear, okay? But you have to start somewhere. And it's also fun and beautiful to do guided meditations. And I do that. I'm starting to do that more, okay? So I have a couple on my YouTube channel and also in my group. I do like free healings and guided meditations. So I
mm-hmm.
just did the 9-9 portal healing, and we did a guided meditation. We did astral traveling. And I had one client tell me she's seen her future, which was in the fifth dimension. And it's like, it was just expansive. She was able to see like 500 acres in Montana,
Oh,
USA.
wow.
Yeah. And the horse farm and like the building structures and everything. So it's like, I like to set up a safe space for people to explore the cosmos, and it's really enjoyable. And yeah, I get amazing feedback. So anyone listening to this podcast, you're welcome to pop in my group. I'm sure you'll leave a link, right? Like I have a link tree, and I have my Facebook group, my YouTube channel, all my social media on there, my
Mm.
website.
You know, I've never tried. Sorry, this is technical stuff, but I've never
Okay.
tried recording like this, so I don't know how it's gonna record. I think it's gonna keep the small. I don't know how do you see me? See me as, oh, sorry. Technical.
I
So
see
do
you
you?
the same way as I saw you the other day when we chatted from your computer. It looks the same.
Okay.
It's like a box. I'm in a box and you're in a box, and we're side by side. So that's what,
Okay.
and I'm on the computer still, and it looks like that. So
Okay. Okay. We'll see. We'll see how it comes out. So as far as the meditation, I think there's so many different meditations out there. It's quite there's probably 1,000 different meditations, and
yeah,
I've tried guided meditations a few times and all that. So why don't we try a little bit for people? How do people get more uh to start your day? How do people get more relaxed and kind of be more present, more in the moment? Because that's important. Like
absolutely.
I'm right now, sometimes technology just annoys you. I'm just annoyed how it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, because I like to think it's a certain way, and when they don't go a certain way, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah,
So in
so how
that
do yeah.
particular situation, it's just something you just have to release, like let it go, and just know that there's a divine reason. Okay. So it's like, maybe it's for your personal growth. Like you're attached to the computer, and we're learning how to not be attached to anything. So if you could just trust and let it go and just see what happens, let it unfold. So that's what I would recommend in this situation. But to start out the day, what I do, which is a fabulous way to start your day,
Hmm.
is get out in earth, get out in Mother Nature. I always am barefoot and facing the sun. So it's important to breathe in the sun in the morning. So what I do is barefoot, and then I look at the sun, and then I have this gorgeous, I call her grand oak. It's this monstrous oak tree, and the
Hmm.
sun shines through it. So I sit there, and this is actually another way you can meditate, is just connecting to nature. So I just breathe it in and sense it, like listen to the birds and watch the butterflies and just see the trees. And the more you do this, all right, it is like perfect way to start your day, because you're grounding, you're refueling. The sun, that's another lie. Oh, it's not safe, blah 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 blah. The sun is one of the most beautiful healing tools we have here on earth, because
Do you look
this,
at the sun? Do you ever look
I
at the
look
sun
at the
directly?
sun. I look at the sun directly every day.
Really? Oh my
Yes, it's
goodness.
so safe. That's a lie
Really?
that, yeah. There's people that actually, I looked into it and started doing it a little bit. There's sun gazers, like people will go out, and it's has such restorative um things. for you. Like it's so
Really?
healing. Yes. Like,
You, you
the
know,
sun is light codes. Light codes. They're
oh,
sending you light codes.
I think it was construct made in my mind, but I remember one time I looked at the sun as a kid, and then I thought something happened with my eyes, and so I was then afraid of kind of afraid of the sun to even look at the sun because I was in my mind something happened, but maybe that's what happens when you first look at the sun because you're not used to it. Is that what it is? Like
Yeah.
something
They
happens with your eyes because you're not used to it, and you're like, and then it freaks you out, and then maybe you're blinded for half a day. I don't know. Like, does that happen? Because I've heard stories like
Well,
that.
the person I was following, and I just did a little quick study for my own personal self to see if it's something I want to incorporate in my regular routine. And they recommend taking your time to build up to steer out the sun. Okay.
Oh, I see.
But because I've been doing it, I live in Florida where it's sun every day, almost every day, a lot of sunshine. So I've been here 4.5 years, but
Hmm.
consistently facing the sun, this is so important. Like this helps I'm not a scientist, but I know it's something to stimulate your brain as well. So it's barefoot and facing the sun, and the other thing is gratitude. It's important to
Right.
focus on gratitude. So I'll write in my journal 5 things I'm grateful now and 5 things I'm grateful for the future every
Mm.
day. That's like my routine.
Okay,
So
so if
that
you're grateful that you're gonna have a lot of money, then it's more likely that you're gonna have a lot of money soon, right?
yes, they so grateful in the future, you thanking for the money that's coming, right? So that's part of it.
Or you can do traits as well. I'm grateful for my patience, or I'm grateful for my, determination or
Yes.
iron will, or whatever traits you want to develop. I guess I've heard that before. I've never practiced much the gratitude for it's like an expectation of receiving, from the future, or from the universe, from God,
Yeah. I wanted to touch on another amazing meditation that I love. And you could do this anywhere, like when you're driving or walking. And I'm gonna probably mess up how to say it, but it's called a
Po-
Ho'oponopono.
ho-
You know it?
Ho'oponopono. Yeah, yeah,
Ho'oponopono, yes.
yeah.
And it's just like 4 simple phrases. I'm sorry. I forgive you. Thank you. I love you. Okay. And you just say that repetitively within, and you, even if they're like, for me, if someone did something to upset me, I will say that. And
Mm,
then you can feel your heart being restored. And not only are you doing it for yourself, you're doing it for globally. Like you don't even have to have someone be upset. You don't have to be upset with
mm.
someone to say that, do that meditation. And I feel, and some people like really, I've had it when I did it in the beginning, it was like a release, like within,
Mm.
and let out tears. So
When you started on your spiritual path, was there usually there's a with people there's a big crisis moment, or there's something that's not going right with their life.
yes.
Was it something like that for you personally?
Yes, it was I am a survivor of sexual abuse, and it was incest in my family, and a
Oh
lot
my.
of it. Yeah, it was like men and women, multiple people, multiple years. It went on for 17 years. Okay. And I went to drugs to try to keep this pain down because it was horrific. And And then it just got to be enough with the drugs. It was like, it wasn't helping anymore. And
Mm.
my life was starting to go downhill. So I ended up in rehab. And that's the day that I started my spiritual awakening and realized there's so much more to life.
Did you ever do the 12 steps?
Yeah, I did that actually for 26 years. Like, especially in the beginning, like I was,
Active in those groups?
yeah, I was like in Narcotics Anonymous. I went to Alcoholics Anonymous a bit, but mostly Narcotics Anonymous. And I was squeaky clean, never even a sip of wine or marijuana. But
Yeah.
I'm not like that now because I do smoke weed occasionally and I'll do
Mm-hmm.
some plant medicine
Okay.
as well. So I don't feel like it needs that. To me, I feel like the 12 steps a bit of a lie too. It's like brainwash. It's like black and white. It's like I healed myself. Okay. So I'm saying if I didn't heal myself, then maybe I would have had to continued going. But I healed myself. So now I don't have any liquor in the house. Like occasionally I will, but I'll go out to dinner and I'll have a
S-
wine or
So
whatever.
you would say based on the 12 step work you did and the healing work you did that you're not an addict anymore, you would say. Is that what it is?
Well, I'm definitely not an alcoholic, but addict, I wouldn't say no
Can
to
you
not.
stop at any time? Can you
Yeah, I
stop
can.
weed at any
Yes.
time?
Yeah, I can. Like I give myself breaks. Like if I, but I do, I do like weed quite a bit. So, uh,
So you can stop anytime you want.
yeah, I do. I do stop
Okay.
and I'll give myself a break for a few months. Right.
Yeah.
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 So,
I've had some experiences with 12 step and I would highly recommend it, but everybody's path is different, right?
yeah.
And and so what were the teachers that you found along the way, along your early spiritual path?
Uh, Carolyn Mess,
Okay.
Louise Hayes, um, Dolores Cannon. I like oh, I'm having a blank for his name. Why? Huh. Oh, and like
Come.
this guy is incredible. He does a lot of research with aliens and he's just does so much deep research, like because a lot of the aliens are here to help us evolve. So I wanted to make that clear. I have
Mm,
contact with an aliens myself. Like they're here to help. So I didn't want to like they started off the podcast talking about the reptilians who are keeping us down, but
right.
they weren't always like that. They were not like that always. So
So there's
we
positive
have
aliens.
oh yeah, there's so many and they're here, they're a big part of our evolution.
What if you
Big
haven't
part.
seen any aliens and just skeptical? Like I myself, I've not seen anything. I think there is something out there, but I just I just don't know. Like, I think most people are like that. They're just like, I don't know what's out there really. I don't know. So is there something you'd recommend for those kind of people with like they're open-minded about knowing they've never seen anything. They never experienced anything. They never heard an alien. They've heard of them, but they never, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they don't have the personal experience.
Okay, well, let's put it this way. I could feel like there's all different types of intuition or clairvoyance or clairaudience, you know, in the visual. Is like, for me and my spiritual gifts, I could feel like, actually, you know what though, until me and my wife woke up, okay, there's a spacecraft has been with us, and we lived in Idaho, which is like it's 2 to 3 thousand miles across the country.
Mm-hmm.
And we would see that, we thought it was a drone. We thought it was a drone because our minds weren't expanded enough. Like, this is an aircraft, okay? But since we've, you know, in the last couple of years, I just feel like it's been explosive, opening up, and the spiritual awakening has gone into all different areas, like awareness
Mm-hmm.
of like the matrix and the conspiracy, like all those conspiracy theories, a lot of them are actually real. And it was like, until I could, you know, open my mind and be ready, then we realized, okay,
Well,
we realized it's an aircraft. And because we're looking at it, and it flashes, it looks like it
right.
could be like, all these years we're like, okay, it's a drone. And then we thought it was a star, but it flashes green and red and clear white, and it'll move significant amount in one night. Like,
Mm.
no star does this. So this is how we knew. And it was like more of a internal feeling within. When you're ready. All right. So I was looking up who I would recommend to start with. Okay. David Wilcox. He's really knowledgeable. He's read over 300 books. Like, since he's written that book, he's read
Mm-hmm.
300 books on aliens. So he has a lot of information and knowledge. So I would definitely, he actually has a movie out, a couple movies, and he's a good person to start with. I would recommend.
Mm-hmm. David Wilcock. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. He's really interesting and powerful and knowledgeable. So
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned conspiracy theories. So which ones specifically about I know you mentioned pandemic before. This, by the way, would probably get the episode taken down by YouTube. But it's okay. There's other platforms.
right.
Um, so which conspiracy theories would you say are about aliens are true?
There's okay. So this is what I would recommend for everybody. There's so much information out there on the internet. You're going to have, and now this is like, I don't know why, but I feel really moved to tell you in the audience that my experience, okay, it's like I'm actually going down a little bit of a rabbit hole, but I think it's important to be talk about, okay, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that present themselves as spiritual, okay. Oh, my camera just lit up. So, and they're fake, they're not real. Like, they're like spiritual coaches, and will anyway. I actually had um 5 coaches. Like, I was like, obviously it was a pattern I repeated, because it was like different
Right.
patterns. It's like multiple. Okay. So it was just like, and I was revealed the truth about them, and they were of the dark. Okay.
Really? They
So
were not
yeah,
evil.
they were
They were
evil.
fake.
fake.
Wow.
And I kept
Wow.
saying, one tool for people to be aware is their eyes. Okay. So I kept saying something's not right with her eyes. Something is not right. Like to me, she's a dark alien
How can
working
you tell by the
for the dark.
eyes? Looking at the
They
eyes, how can
have
you tell by
like
the eyes?
this one person's eyes were like almost a black, okay, and it has like almost like a film over them, like a gloss. They just didn't, you
Oh,
couldn't feel like the eyes of the soul of your being, right? So you couldn't feel like the fullness of it. It was like, I was like glazed by it. Okay. But I'm free of
yeah.
that now. And they wanted to keep me down. It's like, I know why they came towards me. It's because I am very powerful spiritual light being, and they don't like that. They want to keep me down. It's like, you're having issues with the computer before. And I'll be honest with you, I did a cleansing, a clearing, because it's like they don't want people like me to speak up,
Mm.
okay, and share the truth. So yeah, so
Yeah,
it
maybe
went
maybe there
to
was something going on my end as well. Who knows? There's a lot of different factors,
yeah, it
playing
could be.
part. Yeah.
But that was the first hunch I got. I was like, oh geez. I'm like, okay, let me do a little clearing. And you came
Mm.
up with a solution. So that was good. But anyway, people need to go within, like go within. You're gonna get signs, they're gonna be flags, and you have to pay attention to those flags. So it's like, even though I'm like, I'm not like, at first I felt a little ashamed, like, why? Like, come on now. I've been on this path for so long and I got fooled. I'm like,
Mm.
and it's like, but I needed to go through that to let other people know it's real. It is like a lot of darkness. So you can't just listen to anyone on the internet. You could hear something and you really have to drop within and feel it to see if it's accurate, if it's truth, if it's right.
Mm.
Because
Yeah,
there's a lot of
that's
garbage out there.
that's one thing. It's hard to know what's true and what's false. A guy really influential in my life, David Hawkins, wrote a book called Truth versus Falsehood. Because and one of the premises in the book was that the mind unaided is unable to differentiate between what's true or what's false, because you can easily be programmed.
Exactly.
Yeah, so easily. Um, right. So, uh, hmm. So, how did you start on the healing journey then? You were introduced with so many different teachers, and then did you ever do like Reiki, or did you, because that's what most people start with. They do
Yeah.
Reiki and they do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then somewhere along the way they kind of or some of them they develop their own techniques and stuff.
Yeah. That's actually was my first healing modality. I was 10 years into my spiritual journey and I was doing a job that I hated. It was like, it was industrial sales. I was selling nuts and bolts and cutting tools, and it was just like a not aligned with my heart and soul.
Yeah.
And so, but I was led to Reiki 1 and 2. So I got certified for 1 and 2 when I was pregnant with my son in 1997. So I started healing us both simultaneously. And when he was born, it's like, everything is divinely set up. It was like no coincidence that I got certified right then. So I had the knowledge, and my
Yeah.
son was born with a hole in his heart.
Oh man.
And yeah, I was like devastated. And but I heard a voice within. It said you could heal him. I was like, what? I didn't question it. I just did. morning, noon, and night, morning, noon, and night. And lo and behold, on the 1 year checkup, the hole was gone. It was cleared. There was no more hole. So I did heal them, but it took me another 25 years to heal myself. I'm like, I went through severe trauma, and
Yeah.
17 years, 17 perpetrators, sexual abuse. I was actually raped by my father at 10. So that was like a lot of damage. I was actually mute. Okay. Like, it's a miracle that me and you are even talking right now, because I hid behind my hair and I sucked my lip because I was so shut down and afraid. I was so scared because it was like coming from all different angles. But I was able to heal myself. I am now a Reiki master. So that was like later on, before I launched my business last year, I became certified Reiki master, and I've learned other healing modalities as well, and incorporated into what I do, like sacred geometry, crystal healing. Yeah. So
What
it's
is sacred geometry? Let's start there.
okay. So it's so vast and so broad, sacred geometry, but I'll give a sample to the audience of one tool you can utilize now. Okay. So because of there's a lot of dark energy going on right now as we speak, like it's all around us. So it's so vital to protect yourself. And how you do that is you could put a white light. That's what I've been doing for probably about 36 years, of white light around me. But if you want to make it even more powerful, then you could layer it with sacred geometry. And it could be any shape that comes to your heart that resonates. So, example, this is one of the layers I do. The white light, a purple pyramid, a green cyclone. So the cyclone is busy on the outside, but inside it's calm. And then a sun. Like, you can use any shape, triangles, whatever, any colors, but you layer it, you're making yourself so much more strong and powerful, because the dark energies want to slip in any way they can. Like if someone, for example, a person could have got in a fight, say a woman got in a fight with her husband and slash anger towards her. Now she has anger, and then she could slash the anger out on you just in the grocery store, like angrily, like she could hit you with the carriage, or she could just send out the energy. And she wouldn't even, a lot of times she wouldn't even be aware. And then there's people that are consciously aware, trying to keep the light workers down, and they will consciously send it. So that's a way. But sacred geometry, there's so many different techniques you could do. That was just one real simple one, but it's in depth.
Is that the reason why I've known some people, there was a girl I knew that had like a tattoo of like triangles and stuff like that. She really liked them for some reason. And is that connected? Like people love that imagery of the geometry and all that, and then they have a tattoo of it. And does that work on a similar way?
Yeah. So a lot of people will resonate, and they're just not even conscious of why are they connected to the infinity shape, or try, like in that situation, triangles. And it could be she's having memories, like, because we all have experienced sacred geometry. And this could be, it could be like a planet where she came from, and it was triangles, a lot of triangles where, you
Hmm.
know, they represented their buildings or whatever in triangles or something like that. So yeah, it's, and there's so many visualizations you connect, like the tree of light, and there's the tree of life. There's just so much. You know where
Mm.
a good place to start there for learning more is on the Gaia channel. They actually just created this new series called Sacred Geometry. And
Mm.
it's like the person who did it is like, he's like a professor. She's like really, you know, scientist or what. He's like really smart, and he brings it down so everyone can understand. He goes through methods of sacred geometry.
So would sacred geometry able to protect yourself basically and all that? And what you mentioned before, it reminds me like when people are angry with you and they're actively, they might not say anything, but you inevitably feel the kind of anger and all that. And I think like in Greek culture, they call that the evil eye, you know, when somebody's really angry with you and all that, and they give you
Oh yeah.
the evil eye. And yeah, like me working where I work, because I'm assistant manager at a place, sometimes I feel like there's there's people that are not happy with certain decisions, and then I feel a certain heaviness or whatnot, you know, around. I remember there was a girl really upset at somebody else, and I could feel her anger, and she was just, and well, it's easy to see because they behave differently as well. But even though their anger was directed towards somebody else, I could just feel to see the anger. It was kind of like it was kind of like a dark smoke around. Yeah, I didn't see anything, but like visually, if I wanted to say, it was like
Mm.
a dark smoke around her, and it was just like seething with just like raw anger. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
very uncanny.
That's that. Yeah, it's like that's a is important to be aware of that, and like right then and there, you could go within and like, I need to set up a wall, like a blockade, like so this doesn't penetrate to my field and affect
Right.
me, right? Because a lot of time, you know, the ultimate truth is we are infinite beings, okay? So, and I've done so much work on me. I'll still like I'm not foolproof. Like obviously, I just went through that a few months ago with those people slipped into my field, and I like spent the money and everything. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was crazy. I
And they
was
were
like,
evil. All of
they
them
were
were evil.
evil, evil, out
Wow.
like, yeah, lied and evil, dark. Like this one lady, I'm like, and it's so amazing how talented they are because they put themselves off as this amazing spiritual person that's blah blah blah
Yes.
blah, right? So what started, I started seeing flags, like she was like acted like, because we're all equal, okay? And if a coach acts like they're superior to you, then that's a flag, right? And I know because I used to have that, like that's something I had to resolve within. I had like, because of where I grew up
Hmm.
and the education I had, I thought I was like superior, right? I was knocked to my knees 4 times. I was homeless 4 times. So I don't
Oh
have that.
wow.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore. I don't feel, that's why I don't feel above. But anyway, she was like, yeah. And then when I told her I wasn't gonna work with her anymore, she just like came out like
He was angry.
vicious, and she was like
Oh wow.
attacking me and just so insulting and dark, and I was like, whoa. I'm
Very
like,
unprofessional.
oh, it was like unbelievable. And she would be like, yeah, she's justifying the whole thing the whole way. I'm like, wow. But when I see, okay, and then I was given the gift to see it on a psychic level, okay? And what I seen was this darkness from her spread like 100-mile radius around her. When I was
Oh
like, when
man.
I seen that, I was like not this. I'm showing you with my arms, right? Hands. I
Yes.
do like to use a lot with my hands, but you just do it within the mind. You could just clear that. Like, we're so much more powerful than we believe, because we've been
Mm,
programmed that we're not, but we all have it, that superpower.
okay. Yeah, so it's important to protect yourself and clear. I think saging, I myself
Sage.
use saging
Mm.
sometimes here in the room, and also around the hostel where I live. I try like once a week to just go around a little bit to sage. But we get a constant influx of people all the time, so it's kind of hard to clear everybody because you can't. You're just like,
Right.
so maybe I need to do a better job, maybe protecting myself because sometimes I'm working and for some reason I'll just get, I don't know if it's physical or whatnot. I just get really, really tired of just be like, oh man, like hitting a wall. And this might be multiple factors. And I think that's the case with a lot of people because a lot of people work in jobs that's like and dealing with different difficult people sometimes, and they need to be able to clear themselves. And I think it's, you
Mm.
mentioned grounding before. I think grounding is very underrated because if you're just walking in nature with bare feet, if you live in a warm climate, maybe if you don't live in Florida in winter, you can't
It's
you can't
harder to
really.
do. But
Yeah,
don't necessarily have to be barefoot. I mean, I have the luxury of the opportunity because I happen to live
yeah.
in this tropical area.
you
But
you can touch trees. You can
touch
touch
them,
trees,
hug them, hug them.
leaves.
I'm
Yeah.
like not ashamed to say I'm a tree hugger. Okay. Like, the trees are such a grounding tool. And actually, you could put your right foot on the base of it as a way to ground yourself, or hug them or touch them. Like, and it's reciprocal because I have this jasmine tree, like where I meditate every morning when I connect with nature. I have this little routine. I'll go over and I'll touch my jasmine. I'll just send an
Mm,
energy. And obviously, I'm doing the energy thing, just sitting there. And this tree is like a magical tree because it blooms and it blooms and it blooms. And I read, like, sometimes they only bloom once a year, but I noticed ever since I've been sitting there consistently, it's blooming so much. And it's like, wow, I just
mm,
love that. I love that. Yeah, that's how powerful our energies are. Right.
mm.
So
Are you
I wanted to tell you some good grounding tools. I actually have some. I could
okay?
just show you some samples right now. Okay, so sage is great. If you don't have sage, it's okay. You could use incense. Okay, just a simple. You could get one of these, like in America, you could get them for $1, like a whole
What kind of
bunch.
incense is it?
Well,
Does
this
it
is just
matter?
black cherry. No, it don't matter. It does
Oh,
not matter. There
I
are
like neck
certain.
champa, the Indian neck champa. Do you know that one?
Oh, no, I'm
I
not
love that one.
familiar. Okay. But anyway, so sage is one. This is well, oh shoot, I forgot what it's called. I solid night. Anyway, this is an excellent tool. This is a tower. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have this sword. It's the same type of crystal, and you could even go deeper with that. But if you don't have incense, you don't have sage, you don't have specific crystals, this is how you could clear. Well, you can clear with your hands, or
Just
in your
cigarette.
mind.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You can clear with your hands or in your mind. It's like your
Yes.
mind is so powerful. So, you know, you like, I think it's extra boost when you have the tools.
Yeah.
But like you say, you want to take care of your area, you just do it in your mind. You don't have time to sage all the time. Do it in your mind and you're clearing that area. You have that power. The first
Mm,
thing is you have to acknowledge it, own it, and then take action.
mm. Okay. Like so you can imagine in your mind that you're sieging and then it'll be a similar effect, right?
Or clearing. You don't even, you could say you could do sage it. It's like that's what the beauty of the mind is and the individual. What resonates with you is
Mm.
your tool, you know? So
How
I'm
about
like,
dealing
for me,
with
I just do like this. This is how the tool, it's like in my mind, this is how it
yeah,
looks. It's just like, you know, or wrapping the white light around your property, or you know, it's like, or clear, but make sure you send it to the light and disintegrate it, because you don't want to remove any dark entities and just let them float and hop into someone else. You consciously have to send it to the light.
right. Okay, so that's very important. What about dealing with people that are kind of narcissists and definitely not good energy? Like this is people that they will look normal and all that, but you will only know by working with them and all that that there's something that the narcissism will start to come out, you know. So how do you deal with that energetically? Because I think with some people I can feel it, just like I can feel just like intense pride or this and that. Pride not in a good way, just like, you know, kind of um so how do you deal with that, those kind of people?
Well, it depends on the particular situation. Like I was married to one. Okay. So
Okay. Wow.
I had to leave. Like it's like recommended that you let that toxicity go. Like because we can't change the narcissist. The narcissist is on its own path, right? So what do? We get out, get like,
Mm,
but let's just say if you work with someone, just also know that that it would be best interest to not be in that toxic environment. So lead towards another, like have intention, put it out there, let God, the universe, your spirit guides know that you want more, you want, so another thing could open for you, something, a better situation. But I had to let go of a lot of people, including my family, or my family let go of me, is because I'm on a fast track, because I already knew within, I'm a
mm,
leader. I'm a leader. So I need to step up. So I need to be clear and I need to grow, because people are waiting for this ascension, and all the light workers need to step up. But you know what? They're actually naturally stepping up because they're having awareness of who they are and what we need to do and where the planet at. We're in crisis. We're in crisis. It's like there's so much bullshit and crap all around us.
oh yeah.
So we have to be the
uh,
beacon, the light, and give people hope. We're not here for much longer. And the higher, like the more people, it's got to be a collective thing,
yeah,
where there's going to be people when we have the mass ascension that people are still going to be in the dirt. Okay. I'm sure a lot of
yeah.
my family members will be like, they're just so blind. But people like us who are the leaders, the speaker, and you are one as well, because you're doing this podcast, you're getting other light workers on here, you're shining. Together, we're doing collaboration. And it's like we're so needed right now. We're needed.
Mm.
We're the hope and we're the change.
Oh, hope and change, which is a president of the United States, which shall not be named. There was no hope. There was no hope and no change. Anyway, so you said that you're somewhat psychic. You said, do you use those gifts as well with clients and stuff like that?
Yes. As a matter of fact, when I did start the Reiki is when my gifts started opening up more and more. And yeah, now I could tap into like who's around people, and if there's a message coming through, like the dead people like talking through me because they know I could help. I could help
Yeah.
communicate. Like everyone has that gift, but they're just not tapped into it. I'm just more aware of it and developed it. So now, yes. So every time I do a healing, energetic healing for my client, they're either, most of the time it's a deceased one who sent us together. That's so clear. And psychically, I could see entities. Okay, so let me explain this. This testimony is mind blowing, and I need more people to know about this gift because it will save people's lives, literally. Okay, so this client, and here was like, she didn't see my website, she didn't see my posts, she was drawn to me, and she knew she had to get with me. Okay, and what was going on with her was she was literally when she was in bed, she literally had someone grab her leg and throw her on the ground, like every night. And it caused broken bones. Like she needs surgeries. Okay.
And there was nobody there.
Well, her husband was sleeping in the bed with him, but he was sleeping. Like she would wake up and there's nobody, like nobody there. Yeah, there was somebody there. It was an entity. Okay. So I listened within. If I could help him, I'm going to say it. And I was like, I can help you. I can help you. And she was on a tight money. Okay. So I have like incognito. I have like, I'll do something, a better deal. If someone needs me, I knew I had to help her. Okay. So I did a 15-minute healing with her. And so what happened was I seen it. It was right behind her shoulder, this dark entity. It wasn't like I couldn't see the eyes or anything. It was like just like a shadowish. Okay. And I'm like, okay, I tell you, I knew the name of this person and I knew what the person, this entity was attached to. Okay. It turned out it was attached to her husband. And she mentioned the name to her husband. And it turned out it was his rapist. I was like, wow. Yeah, it was like mind blowing. But anyway, I'm like, the client has to be ready. Okay. Like if they're not ready, then don't even bother. But I'm like, you ready? Do you want to get rid of it once and for all? Be done? Yes. Okay. So I use this tool, my sword, and
oh my gosh, that looks cool.
I love it. And I just took it and like I always have the window because remember I told you it has to go to the light.
Yeah.
I sent it to the light and we've been like, I'm her hero. Like I changed her whole entire life because now she was getting sleep deprived. She couldn't even sleep. Now she sleeps, never came back. And it's been like 3 months. But yeah, that was like powerful. But I know like people need that and they need to know where they could come. I could do that. I could help them. And who knows, someone might cross your podcast and be like, I had that going on. And now they know where to go because not every healer or Reiki master could remove
can do
dark
that.
entities. Yeah. I have it listed right on my website as one of the things I do.
Mm-hmm. So can we do like a short healing demonstration?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I don't know about entity. Well, the entity is always scary to me, but if there is something maybe here around this area, around
All right,
this
you know,
room,
I can actually
whatever.
let me grab my pendulum. It's right here.
Okay.
Okay, so first, right now, I'm going to connect with my spirit guides, right?
Okay.
And now, if I get permission to connect with your spirit guides, I have to get permission from you. Is it
Oh,
okay?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. See, they're coming in. All right. I do feel, just so you know, like something's coming through right now. You have a guardian. I believe he's a male figure, and he's right here. And to me, he feels like an uncle. He feels like an uncle. So I don't know if you had someone, a literal uncle, or someone that resonates as an uncle that passed, or even he could be alive and you're just estranged. But there you definitely have that. But so you want to know specifically, do you have any dark entities in your space right there? You want to know that? Is that the question?
Yeah. Let's start with that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you do. Um, can you open a window or a
Yeah.
door?
The window's open there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
The window's open.
So are you willing to let it go? Like,
Sure.
okay,
Is it
let's
just in the room or is it just on me? I'm
okay.
unclear. Is it,
All
and
right, let me
I don't know
see.
if it's important, but for the podcast, I guess
Yeah, we can
it's
look
fun.
into that. Yeah, okay, no worries. Okay. So the first question is the dark entity attached to Matt? Okay, it is attached to you. So we can ask if there's dark entity in the space too, though, because it could be more
Okay.
than one. Okay. Is
Okay.
there dark entity in his space? Yeah. Okay. Is this dark entity the same entity? Is it one entity just attached to him and the space? No. Okay. You got more than one entity there. It's nothing to be afraid of. This is more common than you think. Okay. So for the collective, first of all, I'm going to connect to the collective's energies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And their ancestors, like, yeah, they're happy. They're like, we're here. They're here. They're okay. They're excited. Okay. So I want you to set the intention, you and the viewers, to
Mm-hmm.
let go, trust this will work, and let go of anything that doesn't belong in your field of a dark
Mm-hmm.
energy that doesn't belong. And I'm gonna send it to the light. And the audience could help me do this because it's collaborative. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
now I'm gonna take my sword and just clear the area. Okay, now what I always like to do, one sec. I always want to, after I clear the holes in the area, I like to take a pink stone and just send light and love to your space in your area and fill up that hole. Like, we're closing it up. Okay, so it's protected with the pink light, a white light, and a blue light. And the blue light is Archangel Michael. Okay, there you go. So did you must have said something because you felt you said it. Like, so you might have felt it or it came up. So I think you were aware of it at some level. So I wanted to see if you feel. Also, audience, you it's like important to shake. If you could shake 2 to 5 minutes a day or exercise, it's important because we have a lot of trauma stored in our bodies, and it's not just from this life, it's like many lives and many dimensions, so it's important.
Yeah, I think there is perhaps a more wholeness to the space. Yeah, because I think it is also, you can notice it temperature wise, maybe there's a slight difference in temperature. If there was something that you could measure, I think the slight deviation of temperature, I think that might be an indicator as well. Although the subjective is not a temperature, but you might sense it as a temperature, but I don't think it's a temperature really. It's the feel of the space, and it's that. And in my case, I know because I'm dealing with I think I've shared it with this on the podcast, but on and off I'm dealing with something I want to get rid of, an addiction. I don't want to say it as an addiction. Maybe that's a belief system, but um, it's not that I believe it's a negative energy, but I think it comes with it. So I think pornography is negative, and that itself can carry some stuff with it too. So, but I'm trying. I've been trying for years to quit, but there's sometimes still creeps back. So there's that too. So
Okay,
that
so
might
now,
be,
so
yeah.
let me take, you got to take it a step further. Okay, so you were given a gift. Okay, so you were given a gift. Now you could internalize it, treasure it, and go with it. So now
What
you
do you mean?
take, in other words, take conscious action and believe that it worked. Okay, because
Mm,
you're gonna, every time you watch pornography, you're almost gonna have to expect you're gonna get a dark energy attachment every time. So you're gonna be consciously aware. You just got given a gift that's priceless to heal you.
mm-hmm,
So you could choose to let it back in. I was like, I'll give you another example to make it more visible for the audience. Okay. So
mm,
I had even though I had serious conflict with my ex-husband, as I told you, I was actually had to leave, like I was on the run. I was in hiding for
mm-hmm.
3 years. I'm like safe now. It's been 17 years. But anyway, recently I was called to give him a healing. And that's full circle forgiveness. And I did. I gave him the healing. So I gave him this precious gift and he could feel it. It resonated. And then he did nothing. Okay. Because what it was is he is killing himself by the food intake. He has like really bad diabetes.
Mm,
And I had like, I knew why, knew why. I mean, like me, we could work. If you ever wanted to do any more deeper work, we could go back to the source and heal that in time too, because I do quantum healing as well. Like,
okay.
yeah, past lives, future, like it's all at the same time, they say. So it's not necessarily past life, but it could be a timeline that there was, yeah, I already know. I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but I know what happened. I know what happened with you. Okay.
With me?
So
Oh wow.
with
Okay,
you,
I'll
I
ask you
know
later.
why. Yeah. We'll talk about it after the recording, but
Okay.
yeah, I know what's up. But so the client has a choice
Yeah.
to go. So what he did was he could have went with that magic wand and change and continue healing himself. Or you do nothing and just keep in the cycle and the
Yeah.
repeat, the loop,
Yeah.
right? So it's your choice. Everyone has a choice. It's freedom. That's what about being a human here on earth, we have free choice.
Yeah. 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 Because you can bring the horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink, right?
Exactly. Yes.
It's always a choice, right?
Right.
So and that's the thing with healing too. Like you can go to an incredible healer and get a healing, and then if you don't change anything about your life, then it's gonna eventually revert back. Or same with physical stuff like chiropractor. You go get amazing adjustment, and then after a while, if you're not changing anything, it might go back to where it was. So unless it was like severe and something that's caused by an injury. But if something is caused by your lifestyle, then you can always make a new choice. And I remember one time I had this dream that my Christian friend interpreted in really a great way, because this dream was about that it was a big book, right? That was a story, kind of like a story of my life, you know. And the insight was, as I'm writing, I can always take, I can always turn it, I can always turn the page, and it's blank, and it was like a lot bigger than this. And so my friend's insight was, yeah, you can always turn a new page, and you can always start afresh. You know, you don't have to go through the previous paragraph and continue that one, or anything like that, or continue the previous sentence. You can just start a new page, turn a new page, turn a new leaf, and start at a blank page. I was like, wow, that's really true. But it
Yeah.
takes courage. It takes like kind of like, it's not just a passing thought. It's a lot more. It's like a severe. It's like a strong decision to do
Mhm.
something, right?
Exactly. And there's so
Yeah, but
much to it. It's like also is mindset. You could do the power of imagery. There's so many things. Like pattern interrupt, like for example, like you're getting ready, like you have an urge to go that way, you pattern interrupt it by
yeah,
creating something different, and then or stopping your finger or praying or taking movement or whatever. There's so many tools out there. It's massive, massive. There's so
mm,
many ways to heal yourself.
yeah. And I've heard it said that the more likely, the more often you do something, the more likely you are to do it again, because you're doing a pattern. You're starting a pattern.
Or you could
And
choose to change, like, you know what I
yes,
mean?
yeah, when you start a
So
new pattern, there's always a first, and this is how, in a way, history is also made. There was a philosopher I really like, Eric Hoffer, and he said, when something happens in history, somebody starts it, so there's somebody that started it, and then other people copy, and this is in yourself as well. You start it, and then you copy yourself. You started,
yeah,
and that's,
exactly.
yeah. Let's see. It's something we haven't touched upon that you wanna talk about. Um, well, actually, let's go back. There is something that we haven't
Okay.
really touched upon, and this might get the podcast brought down by YouTube. But the 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 pandemic, the keeping everybody inside, the vaccine, and all that. I think I've had problems with the vaccine from the get-go. There was something, they roll it out so fast, and do you think it might cause or has caused injuries in people that have taken the COVID vaccine?
Okay, so there's a lot out there. So again, people need to go within. Okay. Like I'll be honest with you. I didn't know, I wasn't awakened to what was really going on initially. So I did get the vaccine. I did get the vaccine, but I want to give people hope out there. If you had the vaccine or if you didn't, you could still heal and choose not to get it. Okay. Like it's time to vibe up. Like we need to be at a high vibration. I already made a decision to heal myself from that vaccine. So it's obsolete. Like I may have took the vaccine, but it's not within me anymore. And I've done that. I've healed myself. I was on 13 pharmaceutical drugs at one point.
After the vaccine.
No, before. I'm just giving an example, like
Okay.
diabetes, high cholesterol, neuropathy, anxiety, PTSD, depression. I was like, I was on all these pills, and I made a decision to get off them all, and I healed myself. And I'm not having any problems anymore. Like, what to me, out of all of them, the neuropathy, because that was like such a tangible thing I could see and feel. My leg was numb. I felt numb, and that was from the diabetes. Whatever. It was like, I know now the insulin was poison. Like the whole pharmaceutical everything is poison. It's poison. So I would highly recommend, if you can, not get the vaccine, right? But know that if you had it, it's also a mindset. Like you believe it's going to mess you up, it will. Like you believe you can heal yourself from it, you can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My view of the pharmaceuticals is that there is some really incredible drugs. It's just that if you have a view that it's poison, then all of the medications that you're gonna take are gonna be poison. But isn't it? It's the mindset too, right?
It's so much the
Because
mindset. All
yeah,
right, Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza.
yes, I know Joe.
He did this study on like he shared about this study that it was war patients that were getting morphine, like intravenous morphine, because they had brutal tragedies to their body and they ran out. So they decided to give the next patient saline. And when they injected the saline, they felt better. Like it's such a mind thing. We
What's a
believe
saline? What does that
saline
do?
is just like water and salt. It's just
Oh,
nothing.
okay.
It's not,
Okay.
it's a placebo. It's a fake
Right.
medicine. It's not real. We believe that the medicine's gonna work, then the medicine can work. But why don't you just I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm not telling people to get off medicine. It's a whole it's a whole process. You can't just, you know what I mean? Like you have to be all in, like in the whole mind. It's like, and certain people may not ever get there. I don't know, like they may not get to this point, but for me personally, one of my favorite quotes that I love all the time, I believe it, is the impossible is possible. I've seen too many miracles for it not to be. Starting with my son's heart.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Anything
amazing.
is possible. Anything. I've seen too many miracles, not just through me, but through other ways.
So if people want a session with you, how can they contact you?
$1,000,000healer.com.
Okay,
Billion dollar
that's a
healer.
good.
Like you can find me all the social media. I'm like $1,000,000
Yeah,
healer, $1,000,000 healer.
I'll
But
I'll put it in the description as well so people can
okay.
find you.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I have a link tree so you can check out my YouTube
Okay.
channel, join my group, whatever. You want to get some free stuff there. I got free magic. So that way
Okay.
you could,
This.
feel it. You feel it first. See what it's like, wow, okay. I've had people from my free masterclass get healed from a addiction, weed addiction. One got freed from depression. I mean, like, you go in there,
Mhm.
set the intention, anything is possible, then receive. And yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we part?
I just want to tell your audience to hold on, just hold on, because we are in a dark time. But I just want you to them who's listening know we're close. We're moving in. We're moving into this ascension, and your life is about to change and become bliss. So just hold on to that hope.
Mm, awesome. Thank you so much, Marie, for being on the podcast and
Thank
talking to
you.
me and everybody here.
Thank you for having me. And
And thank you,
thank you,
everybody, for
everybody.
listening or watching the podcast.
Bye.
How do I stop? There.